Alright, the video I'm going to react to is by How to Not. I think he's a new YouTuber, all credit goes to him. Alright, this video, how to not let gaming ruin your life. I know this is not typically the kind of videos that I react to, but I need to show you something. This is what the thumbnail looks like. If you play these, watch this. And Osu is on it. I play Osu, and I think you guys do too. So let's watch this, shall we?
This is going to be a controversial one, so I'm going to come right out and say it. And this is all coming from a former gamer every day of 20 years. If you can spend hours upon hours of your day gaming and progressing, I think you have a brilliant gift within yourself. But I don't think you're using that gift on the correct thing. Let me explain. If you can sit down...
Okay, before I continue, I don't think putting Osu here is very valid, because Osu is a very physical game. What I mean by this is that you can't really play Osu for hours and hours on end. From his phrasing, he's probably mentioning games that, you grind a lot. Like CSGO here, maybe Valorant. Like those shooter games, usually you grind a lot because you want to gain ranks. Also doesn't really work that way because it's just not feasible physically. Your fingers can't keep up. So yeah, anyways, let's continue.
And focus on a video game for long periods of time, you have an exceptional set of abilities within yourself. Concentration over extended periods, ability to aim for higher status or skill, and a conscious recognition of said status or skill, which will then push you to go even further. So why would you be using this gift on the wrong thing? Video games are very pleasurable to play, but they force you to sort of split your mind and life in two. Sure, you are alive and have a body in the real world, but your mind is going to regularly think of what's next in your virtual world, which is also quite literally your other real life, because you can live through that world in your mind and spirit. The problem with doing this over very, very long periods of time, such as every day for a year, is that it has to end eventually. It doesn't matter how high the skill ceiling is or how long the...
That's a very valid take, honestly. I feel like this point is only really relevant to games that you have a persona in, like Minecraft. You have a character you control, For Osu, that's just not true. Like, World of Warcraft, sure, you have character you control. RuneScape, you have character you control. Who are you controlling Osu? Osu there's 4 game modes, right? You click circles with a cursor. You tap circles flowing down, you catch circles falling down, and you also tap circles, but it goes sideways instead of up to down. Also just doesn't fit here. I don't know why he put Osu here, but we'll let him cook.
No matter how high the skill ceiling is or how long the grind is, one day you will attain mastery, and you will begin to feel empty inside.
There's a top player I know, his name is JK Zoo, he's peak first in Germany, and he actually talked about this exact problem in some live stream. I'll just pull it out real quick. And he just says this cap, like he doesn't feel this. And also, for Osu, I can't talk about other games because I don't play them, but for Osu, you are most likely never going to be a top player. That's just how it is. Unless you dedicate yourself to playing Mania. In which case, you have to have a lot of passion for the game, right? So again, this won't happen. But obviously, I can't speak for other games. I'm just speaking as an Osu player.
And if during this brief moment of clarity, you decide to step away from the game and look at your other life in the real world, you will be horrified to find years have slipped away where your life situation is exactly the same as it once was. In today's video of existential horror, I will be explaining how excessive video gaming hijacks your brain chemistry and makes you feel incredible while sitting still. I will then explain how you can use your innate gamer gifts and talents to do things in real life that give you bigger rushes than gaming ever could. From here, I will explain how you can transition away from games and back into real life without attaining severe depression, and I will end this video by then painting a picture of a different kind of existence, where you spend your time leveling up in your physical body, and not your virtual character. Disclaimer.
Alright, this video is made for people that have a sinking feeling deep inside. If you have that feeling, playing Osu, this is for you I guess, that they don't want to be gaming all the time, but don't know what to do next. Okay, I mean a lot of people feel that, that's true. Fortunately, I don't feel that way. I mean, I still have a life outside the YouTube channel and outside Osu. And I'm not very good at Osu anyways, so I shouldn't be prioritizing Osu so much. Being able to play a game in moderation every now and then is not a big deal. I only believe this becomes an issue when living becomes about prioritizing the game over your real life versus living a life occasion in the game. True. Also, if you will, it'll stop if this video message. Awesome. Good vibes from this guy.
So let's get into the video. What is it about video games that make them so unbelievably charming? The music and environment of the game paint a picture that you can feel in your soul, with the actual gameplay being the part that gets you to stick around. But why exactly do some games make us stick around for extremely long periods of time? There is something very primal within us that goes back thousands of years of human evolution.
Sticking around for a very long period of time doesn't really apply to Osu as well. Again, because your fingers can't really keep up. I think even Osu Standard, you just can't play that long, right? I'm not sure. I don't play Osu Standard.
Where we obtain feel-good chemicals when we make progress in our lives. In older video games, you would get a great feeling by beating a level in a game like Mario, or collecting all the dots in Pac-Man. The feeling of putting an effort to reach a desired outcome is what triggers this chemical release. Unfortunately, our body's kind of stupid, and it will not differentiate between feel-good chemicals obtained from reaching our desired outcome in real life versus a fictional universe. And since video games can be programmed with any set of objectives, you can earn seemingly unlimited dopamine bursts by doing small tasks within the game world. This was fine in older video games because they would tend to end at some point. But now, most video games that people are addicted to are designed to never end, and you get so much of a rush from playing them that if it captures you early, you will never stop. RuneScape and other MMOs are literally digital cocaine. If your mind is living in this world more than the real world, the MMO becomes your real world and you will never want to leave. To make things worse, in wider gaming communities for these games, people aren't encouraging at all if you think you have a problem. It is so easy to say, "You'll be back, you always will be," simultaneously keeping that person stuck while validating their own digital cocaine addiction. It's time to get hopeful and positive.
Okay, that's a very valid point, but again, it doesn't really apply to Osu. I mean, to be honest, quitting Osu is very common, so I feel like this is not a very relevant problem in Osu. Like, nobody's addicted to Osu. Okay, maybe standard, I heard of some cases, but Mania, not really. I don't know, I don't see this as an issue. Like, nobody's really addicted to it. I met some players in real life actually, and they all seem healthy to me, honestly. So far, not an issue for Osu. But for other games, I agree, this is definitely an issue.
Now, I didn't just tell you that you had a gift to make you feel good, I meant it. By gaming for hours, you have a very high level of concentration skills, letting you focus on tasks for long periods of time. You have the ability to gauge your current skill level in comparison to others, and you have the ability to objectively look at your current skill level and come up with a plan or practice to improve. These skills working together at the same time are an extremely powerful force depending on what you focus on. If you are able to take these powers and instead of grinding a video game for levels, look at your life like it's a video game that can be leveled, you are going to be unstoppable versus others that haven't grasped this. A common argument I hear against this is that the real world is so hard, and that it can't possibly make you feel as good as in games. This, my friends, is false. But there is a reason why it seems true at face value. In most games, you are treated to tons of high dopamine rewards when you're a new player. Leveling is easy, getting good items is easy, the beginning of a game is always very fun. But the longer you play, the grind begins. Levels take longer, rare items become more rare, and you have to play more and more to get a fraction of the burst of fun you were getting when you were new to the game.
Okay, but again, this doesn't apply to Osu. Osu is kind of hard at the start. I wouldn't say anyone would call it easy. Apart from that, I agree with him.
In contrast, real life is the opposite of this. When you start learning a new skill of any kind to level in real life, it's actually the hardest to do when you're getting started. You need to take boring time to learn what to do, conceptualize how to do the skill right, and then you have to suck at doing said skill because you've never done it before. But as
Like, shooter games in general also work this way. Like, let's go back. Let's say if you've never played video games before, but then you have to like, suck at playing, like, let's say Fortnite, before you get good at it. Like, nobody's good at a game immediately. So I'm not sure what he's getting about this.
suck at doing said skill because you've never done it before. But as time goes on, if you don't give up, you will start to find that you are leveling up that skill and it is becoming easier. The better you get at a thing, the more fun it becomes, and the higher dopamine releases it will give you. Games reward you for doing easy things and then make it harder to get that release as time goes on, where life gives you small rewards for doing easy things, but will give you the biggest releases of your life when you have mastered your skill enough to do something that seems hard to other people. This all
I feel like this is true, but obviously the graph is a bit exaggerated. I don't think it will suck that much in real life. But what I would mention is like people usually like doing stuff that they are innately good at as well. Like if you have a talent for something, you probably want to do it. Like I don't know. If you're really good at jumping, you might like to play basketball, but you may not like to play ping pong, for example. If you know like you have stuff that you're good at, you probably want to do stuff that favors it as well. You can't just do anything, you know.
pieces of your life when you have mastered your skill enough to do something that seems hard to other people. This all sounds dandy, but how on earth can you quit if your brain is completely addicted to a digital world still? To do this, you need to have a goal for yourself, and it has to be really substantial to you. You need to look at that goal and imagine if it was yours. Deeply imagine what your life would be like if you had it. What is happening when you do this is that you are creating a new quest or goal in your mind that has more value over any of the quests in your digital cocaine game of choice. If you want $1 million, think of this. If you want to live in a house on the beach, set this. If you want an amazing romantic partner, think of this. Once you have decided what you want, I want you to close your eyes and for a few minutes, just live in your head with this fantasy of what you and your life would be like if you had this. Paint the picture.
I feel like I read this somewhere before, in some business book. But yeah, this is completely valid. Awesome stuff.
Of the scene. What does it look like? How does the air feel? Where are you? What do you smell? How do you feel inside? The deeper that you can feel this, the better. Once you have fully felt and idealized what you would like, it's now time for you to do what you did in the game, but this time in real life. You need to use your combination of concentration and pattern observation to find out what skills you need to level to get what you want.
Okay, yeah, this is completely true. But I still don't know why he put Osu on the thumbnail. Right, so before I continue, I actually asked this guy for permission to use his content. and he replied with this message. He mentioned he was a top 10,000 player in 2014, 2015. I was like 7 years old back then. Okay, so I have no clue how the state of Osu is. He also mentioned missing at the last 5 seconds of the song and loose leaderboard placement. No 5 DJ is gonna get a leaderboard, right? Nowadays in 2026, right? You need to be better than that. So I'm just gonna assume that back then the game was a little easier. That's why he could afford to play for, a long time. And I guess that's why he even put Osu in the first place, because it's a game he played.
If you want money, you can begin researching how to build businesses, possibly top-paying jobs you could go back to school for, or even side hustle opportunities alongside your current job. Figure out what skills you need to grind and level to be able to make this happen. Now, this next point is extremely important, the most important in the whole video. If you don't want this goal badly enough, you are going to go back to gaming all day and nothing will change.
True. Don't know if he's going to mention this after this, but one thing you can do, just set like multiple goals instead of just one big, humongous goal. And also, don't set your goals so like high, don't say, I want to be like richer than Elon Musk. As your first goal, that's not going to work out. Maybe if your first goal is like, let's get a job, my first job or something. That's just an example though. I'm not 30 years old like this guy, so.
You need to remind yourself daily, put up a poster board if you need to, of what you are working for. Like I said earlier, dopamine will be in short supply in the beginning, so you will need to continue imagining and living in your fantasy of you having that life to keep the motivation to get better at the skills necessary to get there. You need to hit a state where your goal is so important to you that the idea of going back to your game of choice and sinking another 1,000 hours into it makes you physically ill. Because you know that it is an artificial escape from the work you should be doing to reach the state that you want so badly. This is the only way you can quit a game without severe depression taking you over.
Fair enough. Okay, watching this video, I'm not sure why I'm reacting to this. The only reason why I'm even making a video on this is because that's also on the thumbnail. And I wanted to know what it is about Osu that's so bad. And there's no mention of it. His advice is good though, so.
Is no, this will work out and you'll be okay. Ending to this video, because that is purely up to you. But let me paint this picture. You are free to go back to gaming at any time. But if you truly want something more in your life than that, this is your wake-up call to put it down and start using your talents to level up yourself and claim the life of your wildest dreams. You have the potential to have the most incredible, unbelievable life compared to where you are at right now, and it all comes from your vision and the goal you set in your heart. If you watch this video and make huge progress from quitting gaming, I want you to keep me updated here on what you've done, because it is going to be beyond my words since it's coming out of your own heart. I and many others are going to be moved, inspired, and proud of you. You can live in a world greater than any digital world, a world where your mind and heart can develop and bring to you anything if you work hard enough at it.
I'm not sure how old his audience is, but I think my audience is quite young. And most of you guys are in school, right? So honestly, just focus on school. Like if you get good grades, as good as you can get, it's fine, just play games. You're still a kid,
And the world is not conventionally programmed. All things are possible here. The only limit is how much you want from it.
True.
Thank you for watching this entire video.
Nice. Wow, this is an awesome video.